Hi there, it's Nick from Sweden here. I'm checking in from Greece, southwest Greece, as a matter of fact, the peninsula called Peloponnesos. And today I'm gonna tell you a story how an old man wanted to have sex with me today in the morning. It's really crazy. You see, I had slept in my camper van, which is up there, that blue thing you see there. I had slept in the harbor of a town here where I am now. I'm not gonna tell you exactly where I am or the name of the town. And I'm like jumping out of my van in the morning around 9, and I'm busy like preparing to make my breakfast and make my coffee. And lo and behold, when I jump out from the van, I see a car stopping. This was in a harbor, so there was a few guys like taking their cars there, and then they sit there and fish or do something related to their boats or something. So I jump out of my van and I see this SUV stopping, let's say 5 meters from me or 10 meters, and a guy is like trying to get my attention. And I'm walking towards him, and he tells me in English, like, "Hi, how are you?" Like, "I'm okay." And the guy was clearly Greek, and I spoke to him in Greek, but then he wanted to speak English with me because he told me he had been living in the United States for well over 50 years. And it's nothing uncommon that Greeks will want to speak English with you, because many of them have lived in the States or in the UK or in Australia or Germany for that matter. So it's very common that Greeks approach you and want to talk to you in whatever language, usually English. So that's nothing strange at all about that. So I was open for having a conversation with him because I'm traveling alone, and yeah, I'm open for having a conversation with people, you know. And the guy is well over 70, I thought. And he comes out, he greets me, and we start talking about where am I from, where is he from, whatever. He's retired since many years, he told me. And very soon he asked me like, why are you traveling alone? Don't you have a wife? Do you have kids? Like, why are you traveling alone? And I'm like, well, that's just how it is. I'm not married, I don't have any family, I'm single at the moment or living alone. And he's like, no, you can't do that. You gotta have a woman, you know, you gotta have a woman to bang in your car, you know. So really quickly he took this conversation in a sexual direction, this old guy, quite frankly. And I was a little bit surprised by that, to say the least, because the guy looked around 75, 76, but he was well over that, as I'm gonna tell you later. And I mean, yeah, I thought he was like the occasional horny old man. I mean, those do occur, right? But this guy was something extra, which was a bit unsettling actually, because I didn't know how far his interest would go, but I would soon find out. And yeah, I mean, we had a good conversation. Like, he was a funny guy, he was polite, he was funny. And but he very clearly wanted to talk about women and the sexual organs of women, and what he wanted to do with them, or that he wanted to have contact with women and their sexual organs. Like, and he was like, oh yeah, you gotta have a lady in that car, she's gonna give you blowjobs, you can bang her as much as you want, and blah blah blah. Like, he basically wanted to talk about sexual things with me, and he used this thing that I was traveling alone as like kind of a camouflage or an opener for starting to talk about sexual things, I soon discovered. And yeah, he was like, wouldn't it be good to have a woman in the car, like she would give you blowjobs and you can bang her and whatever. And I'm like I'm taking a bit aback here, because this guy is like pushing 80 and he's talking like this, you know, this stuff. I'm definitely not used to old guys talking like this. He was talking like some, I don't know, a 19-year-old, you know. And And then quite soon he took the conversation in a bisexual or even homosexual direction. To my not so big surprise by now, he told me that I came to California in the late '60s, San Francisco, and there people were having sex left and right, and everybody was on top of the other, and you got one blowjob after the other, and he didn't specify the sexes here, So I kind of understood that, okay, this guy is he's on the bi or even homosexual side, this guy. And I didn't want to be rude to him, because I mean the guy wasn't rude. He was kind of polite and funny and respectful in a way. But of course I wasn't so comfortable with him starting to talk about sexual stuff, and especially not when he started to bring the gay stuff into the picture, you see. And yeah, I mean, pretty soon it was clear to me that this guy is flirting on me, or he's hitting on me, or he's showing his sexual interest here, and I'm 45, and this guy, you wouldn't believe it, and I didn't either. He showed me his ID, and he was 82 and a half. That's incredible that such an old guy is so sexually hungry. That was a big surprise. I mean, I know that it can occur, but it's just not. I mean, I have never heard a guy talk like this before, let alone hitting on me and making very open sexual advances or suggestions. And the thing is that I wouldn't call what he did or what he said sexual harassment, but it sure as shit wasn't far from that. And I mean, the difference might have been that he didn't touch me, because I wouldn't let him touch me in any such way. I mean, I shook his hand and stuff, but the difference here is that he said these things, these insinuations, that he was clearly interested in showing to me that he was interested in having a sexual encounter. And the difference is that he didn't touch me, and like in that way, I would call that sexual harassment. When a person shows strong sexual interest in another person, then it's like touching, hugging, clinging, that thing, or whatever, touching the legs or ass or whatever. And he didn't do that. He didn't do that. So I wouldn't call what he said and did for sexual harassment, but he showed his interest in a very, very clear way. And I was like blown away, because I'm 45 and he's like pushing 83. That was crazy. He looked actually not a day more than like 75, even less. I don't think he was like fit, but he definitely was in a good shape. And I mean, yeah, he took the conversation in a sneaky way, in this gay or bi way, because he told me that, what did he tell me? Well, anyway, he told me that he's got in a car and some 24-year-old had given him the best blowjob of his life. And that was a guy, like a man, who did that to him. And I didn't ask any more about that, because I pretended to not realize what he was after, And I mean, this whole conversation just sneaked up on me, that when you find yourself in such a situation or a conversation, it can be difficult to like exit the conversation in a neat way, or because I didn't want to be rude to him. I mean, the guy didn't harm me in any way, and I mean, the question is open. I mean, the guy, regardless of his age, he's allowed to show his interest. He's allowed to be interested in a significantly younger man, or a woman for that matter. The question is how he would go about it, how he would show his interest. And in my case, he was very direct, very blunt, very brazen, very brash. And I mean, yeah, in a way you gotta respect that this old man had the gumption to do this. I mean, he wasn't shy about it, And I mean, the guy took his chance. I mean, I didn't like the conversation, I didn't like the situation, and I'm gonna tell him very clearly, if and when I see him the next time, because he's a local here where I am now, and I'm also gonna hang around in this area for a while. So if and when he starts again with this, if and when I see him again, I'm gonna make it very clear to him that this needs to stop. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in having any sexual encounter with you, or any sexual encounter or actions or even a conversation, because I don't like to talk about sex with people, especially not men. I might want to talk about this with some woman or some potential female partner, but I don't like to talk about sex with my friends or guys or men, or definitely not my parents or even my siblings. No, no, no. That's too private. I mean, I just don't like to talk about it. That's how I was raised. So, but anyway, I have to give this man a little credit, because he had the gumption and the balls to like show his interest very clear. In a 37-year-old younger guy, I'm like lamb's meat to him. I'm like fresh meat for him, you know. And I mean, the guy wasn't ugly. I mean, he might have succeeded with some other guy if he had been lucky to stumble over a gay guy or even a bisexual guy. So, but I mean, of course, the situation was a bit uncomfortable, and I hope he will respect, even when I see him again, that he doesn't do this anymore. I mean, he doesn't push it, because I'm gonna make it clear to him that he shouldn't push it. But at the same time, the question is open. I mean, even though he's so old and I'm relatively to him so young, I mean, he's allowed to show his interest. He's allowed to try. I mean, we shouldn't be condemning people for their age. Even though I think he had an abnormal sexual interest for his age, definitely abnormal. I've never come across anything like this in my life. Never had any similar experience with any man or woman, for that matter, that is so significantly older or old, that showed such a big sexual interest. I mean, yeah, we all had that occasional 60 plus woman that pursues you or shows you affection or attention, but not like 80 plus. Like, damn. That was a surprise, and I was so surprised by this whole situation and conversation. So there was no like easy way for me out of this, because I didn't want to be rude to him, and yeah, he wasn't. He seemed like an educated guy. He seemed like, he didn't seem like some bozo or some rapist, but clearly yeah, I mean, this guy, I mean, he clearly pursued his interest in sex aggressively. So I hope that he doesn't do illegal stuff, let's say. But you never know with people, so yeah. So yeah, that was my crazy encounter in Greece here in November. That a very much older man than me wanted to have sex with me today. And he wasn't shy about it. He was like very direct about it. He didn't try to touch me or like stroke me or whatever. He didn't do that. He kept on his side, so to speak. But he kind of insinuated that when he knew where the conversation was going, like he told me that can't you just remove your t-shirt so I can go home and wank? He said something like that, like why don't you go in your car and you take off your t-shirt, so and then I will see you, and then I will go home and jerk off. He basically said that. Maybe not exactly like that, but that was the whole meaning. So, but I didn't do it. I didn't do anything what he wanted, basically. So, but I was just so damn surprised. It blew me out of the water. I mean, this whole situation, that such an old guy, quite frankly, would try this, you know. If he goes about doing that every day, I mean, he probably has a reputation around here, because this area where I am now, it's like a village area. It's a place where most people know most people, so to speak. I don't like the term everybody knows everybody, because that's never the case. I mean, even if you're in a small town, there is no such thing as everybody knows everybody. No, it's not the case at all. Maybe if you live in a village with 3 houses, then yeah. But anyway, these crazy things can happen in Greece. The Greeks are kind of blunt. They will unashamedly approach you and talk to you if they want to. Many of them are interested in talking to foreigners. So in a way, I wasn't surprised at all that he wanted to talk to me, because that's almost like a daily occurrence here in Greece, that a stranger approaches you or want to talk to you in English or German or some other language, usually English. But this guy was something else. I mean, yeah. And just so surprising that this has never ever happened in my life, in any country, anywhere, that such an old guy, and older than me relative to my age, shows such an interest. It's crazy. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the guy, oh, you're looking good. I mean, he told me, why don't you have a wife? You should have a woman, you should get kids. I mean, you're so good looking. I mean, the guy complimented me, and I'm not gonna lie, I mean, who doesn't like a compliment? And it doesn't matter that it's an old man giving me a compliment, because that guy, he was himself not bad looking, and when he was young, he for sure was handsome. So in a way, it's more telling if he tells me that I'm good looking or handsome, because he is himself a more or less handsome man, although more advanced in age. So in a way, that's more valuable or worth than if some, whatever, my peer or some woman my age would say it. Because, yeah, you can't trust people really what they say, you know. So anyway, that is the story of today in November here in southwest Greece. How an 82-and-a-half-year-old man wanted to have sex with me. But unfortunately for him, he had to walk away disappointed. Thanks for watching the video. Please share your comments, your thoughts. I for sure forgot to say many things about the whole situation and stuff, but if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. And please do like the video and subscribe to my channel. I would be very happy if you do that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon again. Bye.